Hey, I'm Wendy, and this is my husband Jay.
Hey,
And we started clean eating. We think that it's in 2011. So that makes it how many years?
14 years.
14 years. It was a huge lifestyle change for us. So we honestly didn't know if we'd stick with it. And this just kind of the process that we went through. We've been at it 14 years, and honestly, we would never go back to what we were doing, which was we didn't know anything about food and how to eat. So back when we first started because I moved back to Indiana and the water was just terrible tasting.
Yeah, we both had kind of experience with our moms. We thought maybe water contributed to some of their health issues. And we decided we wanted the kids to drink filtered water. So I started hauling water from one of the places in town that have filtered, reverse osmosis systems. I mean, we were probably hauling 20 gallons a week. Did that for 10 years.
The biggest thing why we started looking at our food was I had gotten really sick and had really, really high blood pressure. And I'd also gained a lot of weight over the years and had gone to a doctor that put me on blood pressure medicine. And the pressure medicine just never really, I didn't do well on it at all. And I went back to the doctor and I said, this isn't working. I can't take it anymore. It makes me sick. What can I do? And he actually said, honestly, you need to lose 50 pounds and you can do that by diet and exercise. And so that just kind of started us on our journey.
Yeah, that was kind of a beginning. There were a couple factors that, were part of that. I think the health issue, we wanted our children to start eating better. I had come from the restaurant industry, so my eating habits were not the best. I was a GM at a fast food restaurant for many years, so obviously that was not good. But we kind of started approaching it scientifically by researching everything, and it was step by step for a long time. We would evolve. We would find something that we really thought was really healthy and clean, and then we would research it and find out that it wasn't so beneficial and healthy. So it's been a journey, a really fun journey though.
Yeah. So the first thing that we did was we went through our pantry and we were removing everything that had like more than 5 ingredients in it. So pretty much everything was given away.
It was a lot of processed food, which is one of the main culprits of poor eating habits.
Yeah, and then we started juicing and didn't realize at the time there was so much sugar in the fruits and vegetables that we were over consuming juices, and that wasn't helping with the weight loss.
Well, the juicer we had too, it separated the skin of like carrots and things like that from the juice, and we didn't realize that that's where a lot of the nutrition was, like in carrot juice. So we stopped that to eventually to a blended type of emulsifying juicer or blending for our smoothies and juice drinks and things like that. But that at first we were thought, oh, this is great, we're juicing, and I had a big container of the skin and the pulp. That was really the beneficial part that we were missing.
Was there anybody that we really looked up to that we got a lot of information about?
I'd have to,
I
it's
can
hard to
think of
remember.
Vonnie Harry. She's also called the Food Babe. I read her book really early on, and I got completely turned off by these restaurants. She went against Chick-fil-A for there was like 100 ingredients in just the regular chicken sandwich. And I thought, oh my God, gross. I don't know what's in it, but I don't want to eat it anymore.
When did Beachbody come in? Because they had a lot to do with that as
Yeah.
well.
Yep, we started
protein shakes with them.
doing Beachbody workouts. It was a late night infomercial, and I bought Shalene Johnson's Turbo Fire and did that 3 times through and started following the meal plan.
They had
And
meal plans that were really beneficial, and
yeah,
they kind of helped solidify that we were on the right track to for healthy eating and clean eating. And theirs was also based in science of the diet, if you want to call it that, looking into the ingredients. We learned to start label reading when we would go to the grocery store and looking for specific ingredients that weren't healthy. It would take us a long time here to describe all of them, and we don't have them here in front of us, but it's pretty well known out there. All you have to do is research a little bit now, and it's pretty prevalent on the items that are in food now that are just not good for you.
but some of the things that we did was like oil. You go into the grocery store, and there's practically a full row of oils that you can choose from. And we right away cut out vegetable oil and canola oil. And we only use coconut oil, a really like cold pressed, unrefined olive oil, and it has to be from a certain region.
Italy primarily is where you want it to be, but Spain,
But you don't want the blended oils.
you know, the the vegetable oils and the other seed oils that are out there are dehydrated, and that means they're cooked, so that changes the structure of the oil, and it's really contributes to a lot of issues in your body. We're no medical experts or anything like that or scientists, but we've done enough research to know that that's a culprit, if I can use that term again, for some of the bad things. And oils are used in everything, all major production, food production, and everything. And just if you just look on the label of anything that you go to a grocery store, just pick up anything and look on there, and you'll see safflower oil, you'll see sunflower oil, you'll see canola oil, vegetable oil, and all those oils in their raw form may not be that bad, but they've been dehydrated, and that's just very bad for you.
So, if we were going to the grocery store back then versus going now, what would the difference be?
Well, we're vegetarian now, so we don't do animal proteins, so there's a big difference there. There's some controversy out there between plant-based proteins and animal proteins, which is the best for you and everything, and I think that's up to the individual. But we have found that the proteins, the plant-based proteins, make us feel better. They've helped us reduce our weight, but I think that that's probably one of the big differences from the time that we started until just in the last 4 years being vegetarian.
Well, and I'm about 90% vegetarian, but I don't like tofu, so whenever we have a tofu dish, I eat free range organic chicken, or I will eat, occasionally, I'll eat shrimp or a wild caught salmon.
I'm 100% vegetarian. I'm not vegan, but I'm a vegetarian, and I absolutely love it. It makes me feel good.
But the big thing, too, is I think a really hard swap for me was stopping sugar. And I stopped that pretty early on. So that was a hard one because there's sugar in everything.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Coca-Cola. I grew up with Coca-Cola. I mean, it was, you had cases of it in your house, in your refrigerator, in the restaurant world. You get a fountain cola is free. So yeah, sugar, sugar, sugar. That was hard.
The other thing, like eating out, we used to eat out a lot before we
Pizza.
switched. Well, and we still eat pizza. It's just it's healthier now. Like it usually has a chickpea crust or some other kind of crust to it, and we don't pepperoni on it. We eat it pretty much vegetarian. So the eating out has been a, kind of a struggle, but honestly, we save a ton of money eating at home. But when we do go out, we're very particular about where we eat.
When we do go out, we can find salads and stuff, and if it's for entertainment. But as far as for consumption, we much prefer cooking at home. We know where the food we get, we buy. We know how it's cleaned, how it's prepared, processed. So yeah, it saved us money, and I think it's helped us become healthier.
And I think that the big thing, I'll tell you, the wins on the eating clean and everything, we just feel really good. I do not have a high blood pressure problem anymore. That's all normalized now because I work out a lot, or not a lot, but every day for the most part, and we eat really clean. So that's corrected itself, which is great. But I'm going to do another video. We're going to do another video and show you some of the things that we buy at the grocery store and tell you more about how we have gone on vacation only eating clean foods, and going away for the weekend and taking a cooler and shopping.
Packing a weekend lunch for the whole weekend.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun, actually, because
I mean, it takes a lot of preparation.
Yeah, but it's nice because you don't always find the right place to go out and eat unless you're with friends. That's different. We do that to socialize with people, but as far as we go, we prefer to eat at home.
And actually, you just have to remember that clean eating's a lifestyle. It's not a diet. It's just a lifestyle, and you will have some cheat days or cheat meals or
ice cream.
Cheat snacks. Yeah, we don't eat much dairy anymore either. So a lot of people go, gosh, you don't eat a lot of things, like pretty much don't eat gluten or sugar or dairy, selective dairy. I don't feel like I'm deprived at all. They've got so many more foods out there that you can eat. And if you go on Pinterest or even YouTube, you can find all these really healthy bloggers and whatnot that have great ideas to make meals. So it's really easy now.
What I was going to mention also is that when you're researching, look up superfoods. There's a long list of those that you try to incorporate into your diet if you start this. And they're so healthy and beneficial, and it can be made to be very tasty. Things like blueberries, walnuts, there's just so much. And then the other thing is that the blue zones around the world where they have the oldest living humans, generally because of their diet, like Mediterranean, that's another method to look at when you're researching for good diet and eating, is the blue zones, the Mediterranean, things like that, and some of their foods, and incorporate that, which we have been doing that more and more.
And just don't try and be perfect. There's a lot of information and resources out there. If you're eating clean, I'd like to know about what you're doing. And if you're older, over 50, over 60, it's not too late to start. It's never too late to start. So I'm glad we started when we did. I wish that I had started about 10 years earlier than that, but live and learn. It's still probably one of the best decisions we've ever made. So if we can help you at all, be sure and reach out, and we will talk to you next time.
Bye-bye.